Alrighty guys, what is going on? Welcome back to the Ironman. Today we're going to start things off by ending the task we were just previously doing. This is live footage of course, and we're going to get ourselves a heart to start the video because we couldn't end the previous one with getting one. So if this Dreadborn Araxite could so kindly drop me that drop, apparently not. But that's okay. Every superior gets us a little bit closer in my mind, and as long as I'm coping, we're coping. So now that the task is ending, I think it's time we pick up all our mess, the old campfire rule. You got to make the place as clean as it was when you got here, or even cleaner. We're going to ignore the fact these items are here. If they don't have text above them, they don't exist in my brain. We're going to teleport away from here, and you might wonder why. Why am I not grabbing my cannon? The reason is that I've got a double Araxite task here. The only problem is my Venator bow. Last video I burnt through every single charge it had, so we need to recharge that thing before we go back. Luckily, I've got myself 757,000 essence. So let's charge this thing back up to full capacity, swap our task back over to the Araxites and get back into that cave. Oh yeah, I got a pair of boots as well on that task. I think no matter which task I'm doing, it's always really nice to have multiple of it. Although, one mistake I've made in the past that I'm going to avoid in this moment here. If I do have myself two tasks, it's easy to forget to prompt the Slayer Master to give me another task. The reason why this could be an error is that if I prompt another task and I don't have my Slayer Cape, I could be missing the opportunity to double proc. So we'll do this here, never mind. Not going to be the case, but this does give me a slight chance of getting the task a third time around. If I were to just kind of skip that process, I'd skip it entirely and I'd lose that opportunity. You're kidding, bro. That was like 2 kills apart? Oh my goodness. That was pretty awesome getting 2 boots in like 5 seconds. I've never seen that before. Hopefully we can ride the momentum of the RNG in this moment. Let's have a look. What's it going to be, Mr. Superior? Nothing to my name. It is insane. I've been actively picking up these drops like all task. If I stand still for 10, 20 seconds, the room instantly looks like this. It is hectic out here. There is the task complete. 1 superior, 2 boots. Not the most productive task in the world, but it was pretty unique. I could give it that. Can we get the back 3 back? No, we can't, but I'll take the Smoke Devils all day long. I'm actually not sure what I prefer, Araxites or Smoke Devils. You're joking. I'm just like messing around with my my double Slayer task arrangement, and we replace the Aberrant Spectres with 243 Araxites. We are on fire currently. That is so good, man. As a bit of a stark contrast to the previous, this Araxite task was remarkably unremarkable. And after going back to the Slayer Master, we've now got a double Smoke Devil set up. And I must say, even though like I'm not getting the drop I want, at the very least the task that I'm getting is setting me up for success. And that, I know it's a small thing, even though you're not getting the end result, I can be grateful that I have the opportunity, I suppose. So let's see how these 2 tasks go. This will be the first superior of the task. Let's ignore the fact that there is only 8 Smoke Devils remaining, that's totally fine. What's it gonna be? Shooting blanks. I think the heart rate for the Smoke Devils is slightly higher than it is for the Araxites, but a good thing about having yourself a double task, in this instance in particular, is that when I go to the bank, I don't need to pick up my cannon, and if there's anything on the floor, I can come back and pick it up. Well, well, well. 2 occult necklaces and 0 superiors. Who would have thought? I've been so preoccupied just focusing on Slayer that I've totally neglected to acknowledge that we're now over 400 mil experience. It's kind of crazy how much XP per hour that I'm getting, whether it be using a barrage task or a Venator bow with a cannon. Like, these numbers are just flying through. I feel like it was only last week that I had something in the ballpark of 380 mil, and then out of nowhere, 400 has been surpassed. But of course, Slayer is not all sunshines and rainbows. There's a lot of tasks that you do not see. One of those is the Still Dragons task. I kind of like it. I've marked this tile here. It's kind of AFK. I've only got 10 or 11 to do, or maybe 12 by the looks of it, so it doesn't take too long. Things like this and Dark Beasts, they're not super efficient, but they're not too hard either. They give me a couple minutes of AFK, so they could definitely be worse, but I'm definitely looking forward to tutorial skipping in the future. I think that'll definitely be a fun way to do Slayer. I think I just need to prioritize getting my house upgraded before I do that, because there is a lot of teleports that I will need access to do that efficiently. And if you're on one spellbook or another, or you don't have access to teleports readily, I think that'll really slow things down. So I think that'll be something I do this video, but I don't know. I'm in a very much Slayer groove right now, and it'll take a lot to take me out of it. Once again, managed to snag myself another smoke devil task, fortunately. I also got myself a superior, which is even better. But to add things into the mix, I also had a fellow Ironman spectator chronicalizing my journey. Is that even a word to this man? 24.3 million experience drive this item currently. Hopefully with a guardian angel by my side. The drop was inevitable, surely. This is the one. The prayers were in action, the thoughts, the prayers. It was all coming together. Until it wasn't. No heart on the ground, but shift leader, one day, brother, we're all gonna make it. We'll have our hearts in our possession before too long. But after that task, that was a bit dramatic, wasn't it? Managed to get myself an Abyssal dagger. I don't know what this weapon is even gonna help me do, but I've got it now. Extremely rare from the Abyssal demon, but another one to add to the collection log. After a modest day of Slayer, we've come to the precipice of something great. The 1000th, why can't I say that number, Slayer task. My suspicion is it will only count for the equivalent of a 100 point streak, but for novelty, I want to see what we can do with this one. And who knows, I'm open to being surprised. If it wants to give me more than 500 points at whatever that may be, go ahead. But I don't think that's going to happen. And conveniently, the greater demons I need to kill are right in this neighborhood. I would try to re-skip a few times to see if I can get a better task than that, but I think I've learnt my lesson with Kona. If you try to get a task that you actually want, you're going to end up burning a hole in your Slayer point tally. That was a bit of a nostalgic task there. I grabbed out the Abyssal dagger, kind of a DDS substitute, but to be totally honest, I think this thing is probably weaker than my Emberlight is on a standard attack, and if it's not much better, but I've got myself about 11 minutes until the system updates. I think they're going to make it so bonfires give you the same amount of XP as regular fires, which is cool. Too bad that won't really do a whole lot for me at this stage, although I could get 500,000 experience that way, but I still want to get a little bit more winter done before I cap off that skill. However, I'm going to make a pivot into the Sepulchre. I've been waiting for a long time to try out this content, and I feel like now is the time to do it. But anyway, there is 1000 Slayer tasks completed. We can now demolish the streak whenever we would like. I think what I'm going to do is wait a little bit longer. I'll kind of burn all the points that I have in my current reserves before I think about doing anything with Tyrael, because obviously if I have myself a bunch of Slayer points, it doesn't really matter. Like, I don't need to skip things with the master when I can just do them manually. So we'll do that for now. Araxites, that is so good. My recording luck getting Araxites is phenomenal. I should probably just record every time I get a task, to be honest. But yeah, Dust Devils and Araxites, I'll get to them eventually. But for now, we're going to try out some Sepulchre, see how long I last, see if I can learn this content nice and quickly, and hopefully I can learn it before it frustrates me. Like, that's the goal, right? If I can't get it down before it pisses me off, I'm probably going to quit it. So wish me luck. Hopefully things go smoothly, and if it does, maybe I'll have myself a new pathway to get to 99 agility, and we can finally get that done for the first time as well. Here are my humble beginnings at the Hallowed Sepulchre here, obtaining our first Hallowed mark. We'll need plenty more of those if we want to actually make some good use out of them, but slowly over time I realized that NPCs were spawning and it was starting to tilt me due to the fact I kept failing obstacles. What is that? Why does that spawn? I got 36,000 experience in my first hour doing this shit. So yeah, I wasn't exactly a happy camper, but I'm trying to persevere and make the best out of a bad situation, that being my skill level. After about 2 hours of running around in the Sepulchre, I've finally reached the end of floor number 5. Now, there is absolutely no chance I did this within the time limit, not even close, and it's kind of a miracle that I'm even standing here in this moment. But I must say, as a newbie to this content, I'm going to give this place about a 2 out of 10. I hated this, I'm not going to lie. I think the only way you can enjoy this content is if you develop Stockholm Syndrome, so over the next few hours I'm going to attempt to develop that and see if I can raise my appreciation above a 2 out of 10. If I can get in the ballpark of a 5 or higher, perhaps that is the way to go. There is a good collective amount of positive reviews of this area, but as someone who's never tried it and I am very much struggling, I am hating this, I must say. So I'm going to put my faith into the future and hope that one day I'll think this place is okay to do. But for the time being, I'm getting like 35,000 experience an hour, not a whole lot of loot, and a whole lot of frustration. So I'm going to keep the grindstone, accept the fact that I am in fact a noob. And yeah, fingers crossed and hope for the best that in the future we can redeem our subjective experience of this environment, because for the most part, my life is pure misery. Because I have the suspicion that when my skill level at that content increases, my frustration will decrease, I'm just gonna, for posterity's sake, document the frustrations I currently have. I kind of want to look back on this and kind of laugh at myself, so feel free to join me in this process as well. The first thing I think that was really screwing me over was the tiles that I needed to stand on. I ended up having like 3 different tile packs installed. I kept going to YouTube video after YouTube video, finding somebody's guide, and everybody's guide, I layered their tile packs on top of each other. So by the time I got to floor 5, I was just looking at the obstacles, seeing like 7 different tiles in a very small section of the map and wondering what the hell do I do here? What coordinates with what? So after I removed a bunch of those and just added one, I think the trick is no matter which tile pack you use, you just need to use one. If you like layer multiple on top of each other, you are going to shoot yourself in the foot and then eat your own hands. All that is to say, it's just not a very pleasant experience. I'm also having a huge issue with the darts coming through. If I find they're coming, say, this way downstream, if I run in a diagonal manner, I'm so used to like running in an L shape if it's like for a boss. Like if you run, you move 2 tiles, but at the same time, if you run in an L shape, you can do 2+1 sort of thing. So you go bang like this. Well, I kind of get confused and think that I have the ability to dodge a dart when I don't. And I keep having the subjective sense that I shouldn't be getting hit when a dart when I in fact should be. I'm slowly learning that if a dart is coming my way though, just to stand like directly left or right, don't make any diagonal movements. And I think another thing that's really screwing with my head is that I had the expectation that I'd be able to do like fletching whilst doing it from the get-go, so I kind of dropped that goal pretty quickly, but I am using the broad arrows whilst I'm waiting for, say, those swords to pass by. I'm not necessarily being efficient. There will be occasions on like the lower floors, maybe like floor 1 and 2, where I find myself being able to like actually fletch, but I think it's going to be a very long time before I could see myself fletching on the higher levels. I don't even know if those with a lot of experience do that, but I imagine they would, because everything at the high level seems so optimized and automatic to high level players that I could very much envision that that would be the case. But I don't know, I think I just need to learn some timings, learn what tiles are safe when, and just knowing where to click, when to click there, and basically limit testing what needs to happen, because I just feel like I'm a blind dog in a little fenced out yard and the entire fence is electrified. So I just keep walking around like a mopey little shit, can't tell where I am, where I'm going, and I keep getting shocked, and it's really pissing me off. So I'm hoping after a bit of rest and a little bit more practice that I can eventually open my eyes and learn actually how to do this content. But yeah, for the time being, man, I'm severely frustrated trying to learn this stuff, but that's kind of my learning style. I kind of just get really angry at it until it starts working, and then I get slightly less angry at it, and then eventually it's calm. So we're riding out the wave. It's kind of like a bit of a rodeo of emotions, but we'll get through it. I can see the light at the end of the tunnel, but Jesus, man, I just feel like I'm crawling at a snail's pace. Time for a herb run first thing in the morning, and I gotta say, I had a terrible dream last night. I don't intend on making this series into a dream diary, but I dreamed that I got an imbued heart. And I don't know how I feel about that. I can imagine for like a hardcore Ironman, they'll dream of their account dying. That is something like I never want to be able to like experience. I've never really dreamed about RuneScape before in that capacity, and it's scaring me. Maybe I'm playing this game too much. Out of everything, I thought it would have been the Sepulchre, because that place was my nightmare whilst I was awake. So to dream of an imbued heart was a little different of an experience. I probably spent, half the night just thinking, was that a dream or not? And sure enough, as I do this herb run, it is very sobering to know that there is an absolute 0% chance there is an imbued heart in my bank right now. And yet, I still need to go back to the Sepulchre. So, here we are. I think I'm going to make it to the end for the very first time. I've been skipping all the loot. This is probably hour 4 or 5 to get this far. 23 seconds. I think we're guaranteed, right? We pause here. This will be the first time we open up this coffin at the end. I don't know if this thing gives me the Ring of Endurance at a high rate, but it would be nice to spoon it if it did. But let's see what we got. Some blood runes. The Grand Coffin. 5 hours of gameplay just to get here for the first time. Okie dokie. Like, I'm getting better, but at the same time, man, this is a slower process than I anticipated for sure. That's so embarrassing. Oh my goodness. At least it's done. I now have 2 impressive kill count of the Sepulchre that I've actually managed to loot the final coffin with. And I now have 283 hallowed marks. And I was looking into some of the rewards. I don't really loot a whole lot, so I think I'm going to buy the ring first. About half my inventory tends to be food when I do this, so this will help me out. I'm going to buy the Hallowed ring. And what I believe this thing will do is prevent me from taking damage. I think it also pauses my timer if I ever get hit by one of the obstacles. I have a tendency to chain feed and like continuously run into an obstacle over and over again. So perhaps this can help me in my endeavors. I also stopped taking any damage, so that is a massive thing here. I can probably change around my inventory quite substantially thanks to that. And because I have so many vampire dust, I don't really mind if it costs 2 per entry. So I think that's the smart choice to make there. And honestly, I'm not sure what I'm going to get next. I kind of set it and forget it. I'm not too worried about getting the hallowed marks, but the plank sack has been a nice addition as well, saving up quite a few inventory spots there. So I'm going to get back into the Sepulchre and maybe think about what to get next. I really don't know what order to buy these things in. I think it realistically just comes down to personal preference. I've now opened the coffin 10 times and it's time to celebrate. I've decided that I'm going to buy the hammer next. I'm only going to end up looting the last obstacle before the final chest as well as the chest itself. So because that is a plank related activity, the hammer is my weapon of choice. I probably don't even need my ring crossbow. I'm not doing any grapple loot mechanics, so I can honestly probably just wrap this as it is. I think when I get more consistent, I'll start looting more often, but for the time being, I'll probably just end up looting those last 2 things at the very end. But I guess a bit of an update. The last rating I gave this place was a 2 out of 10. Very much hated it, but I would say we're creeping up to a 5 or a 6. I didn't expect that my opinion would be changed too much. I almost rage quit it entirely, but I'm glad I've stuck it out. I don't know if anyone else's experience is kind of mapped onto mine, but yeah, I really hated this place when I first got here, and now I don't know if it's Stockholm Syndrome. That might not be the case. It's just very frustrating to get consistently hit by obstacles. But now the fact that I've got the ring in conjunction with the fact that I'm getting hit less in general, those 2 factors are really making a massive difference to my mental health. I think we're about to make history. This is going to be the first time I ever get myself an agility level at the Hallowed Sepulchre. Feels good, man. I don't know why I was denied a level up screen, but there is 96 agility, the first of many to come from this wonderful place. We started off rocky, but I think we're getting along just fine now. I've got myself, I don't know, in the realm of a dozen completions perhaps. I'm learning a thing or 2 on each of the floors, and overall, I've gone from mostly frustrated to only occasionally frustrated with this content, so I'm going to call that a massive win. And I think if I ever get to the point where my XP rate per hour, kind of, never mind, we're going to have a problem by the looks of things. But yeah, I think when my EXP rate starts to get to the part where I can easily surpass that of the Arty Rooftop, I think that's when things will really change a lot. If I ever get myself like a 6-figure EXP rate per hour, I think that is when I'll be fully won over with this content. Until then, I'll be chasing that dragon, but at least I know it's possible because I'm getting a bit more familiar. There's alternative routes that I'm slowly but surely kind of making my way through. I'm also getting a bit more comfortable fletching, so all in all, things are clicking into place, and I didn't think that would actually happen anytime soon, so it is definitely a relief to actually begin to enjoy this content. Never mind, this place sucks. I've come to the final coffin again, with a little bit of time left over. I want to investigate what is down these stairs, but you can't access it. So what's the deal, Jagax? What are you trying to hide from me? Where's floor 6, hey? What's the cover-up all about? Sneaky. I don't like it. So Jagex have recently announced that TOA will be getting some upcoming changes, some of which go above my head, and others, maybe, I understand. I'm not too sure. I'm dog shit at this content. Before we cover that though, however, there is 97 fletching. This is the type of content where I definitely need to let my brain reset and just do nothing, so this is the closest to nothing that I can actually do. But the changes being made essentially revolve around making TOA a little bit easier in some ways, but the other side of that coin is that purples will be harder to obtain. The main purples I'm worried about are the Lightbearer and the Osmondton's Fang. I think if I do not do TOA before these changes, my life will be substantially harder, so I've kind of got a ticking clock, and I don't know how long it's going to last, but I essentially need to race Jagex to release this update, and I need to get myself either a Fang, a Lightbearer, or both before these changes come to live. So I've had to take a bit of a pivot from the Sepulchre. I didn't expect to be hijacked out of it and being sent straight into a raid, but that's what we're going to do. I've just done myself a level 0 invocation TOA run for the first time. That is my first successful run. I think I only died once, which was good, but I need to buff my skill level in this raid. I'm very new to this content, and I've only got a short amount of time before I can figure it out and start getting myself some purples before Jagex nerf the drop rates from underneath me, so I'm probably going to stop fletching now, get back into the raid, try and learn this thing as fast as possible, and hopefully get myself my very first purple. My initial goal will be able to do solo 150s. If I can get that done. Now obviously if you've done TOA before, you know how absurd this probably sounds to you, but in this moment, I'm so new to this content, this is actually difficult for me, so cut me some slack. This is the setup that I'm going to be using, and whilst I learn, I'm not going to be burning supplies. I'll probably just use anglerfish as well as some supersets, but as I get more and more confident, I'll probably bring this and then I can start turning on invocation. So bit of a cute noob, bit of over-leveled at the same time. It's a weird mix of things, but hopefully we can get the job done. If we can get ourselves a Fang or a Lightbearer, I'll be a very, very happy man. So let's get started. After researching a bunch of the invocations, I tried to piece together a composition of invocations that would enable me to hit the 150 threshold and also allow me to successfully complete the raid, and fortunately, I've managed to do that. A level 155 is my first solo completion. Actually pretty stoked to get this done. I know it's like a cute noob milestone, but hey man, I'm proud of it, and it kind of tells me that this is possible, alright? Like, this is the worst I'm ever going to be at this content, and if I can achieve this 155 as quick as I did, I have full confidence that I can move forward and maybe even push it a little bit higher in the future. After that raid, man, I feel like I've just taken an exam or something. I needed something to chill out, something to take a break and take my mind off how stressful that actually was. So Herblore is my choice. 95 is the level that we're going to get as a result. And let's see what this unlocks us. Absolutely nothing. Okay. I always feel when I'm doing like something mentally intensive for the first time in this game, aka making herbs, just kidding, I just get exhausted so quickly, so I'm going to need to do some bank stand herbloring in between each raid, I imagine. Getting that first raid under the belt definitely increases my confidence, but at the same time, man, I can't help but feel like I'm going to need to take a few breaks in between, but fortunately, I do have a lot of Herblore supplies in the bank, and if worse comes to worse, I guess I can make broad arrows for whatever that is worth. But aside from a Herblore level, one last thing I wanted to note is that I'm on World 389, and I'm standing next to the one and only 389, and I can't help but think, what does this man do if he ever gets crashed in this game? He's kind of committed to it, and if he's on any other worlds, he's definitely going to fail the RP. But anyway, I should probably stop pissing about and actually get back into TOA. After some much needed procrastination, we got back into the 150s, or the 155s to be precise. Every little bit of invocation helps for that chance at getting something rare, but we got ourselves the Thread of Elidinis. This will allow me to upgrade my rune pouch. It'll now be able to hold 4 runes instead of 3 different rune types, which will be good for my farm runs. Having those lone water runes has been pretty depressing, but one thing that wasn't depressing is what came after. 2.2%. Is that number 9? I've done 9 of these already. Holy crap. It still trips me out how taxing these are actually to do. I want to see. You're kidding. This is it. This is the first purple I've ever gotten in my life. Holy shit. So this was going to be my last raid of the night. Like I said before, I find these extremely taxing to do, and a purple chance was a pipe dream. I'll be happy with either the Lightbearer or the Fang. If I get something along the lines of Masori or something like that, I won't know what to do with myself. I don't know if I'll be happy or not. But my main goal is that Fang or Lightbearer, so when the nerfs come through, I can clean house with the... what I think it is easier TOA with the quality of life of the Fang and the Lightbearer, but it's going to be a harder purple chance in general. So if I can squeeze into this little niche, get myself a Fang, I will be a very happy man. So for the first time ever, let's open up a purple chest. This is so surreal, man. I actually can't believe I'm in this position. I've watched other people in this spot. What am I going to get for the first time ever? A Lightbearer. Okay. Not even mad. This thing is absolutely goated for special attacks. I've actually never used this on any account, whether it be an Ironman, a regular account, whatever. I'm just happy to see something. So hopefully we don't get duplicates. It's kind of like an eternal gem situation. One is good. Any more than that, not so much, but we'll take it. I'm still actually so pumped. That is so dope. Just seeing that purple light, man. Oh boy, I get what people are talking about. I've only ever seen these in like other people's clips and videos and stuff, so it's very strange to be in this position for myself. I think this is how you get addicted to this content. You see your first purple ever, you get excited, and all you can think about is the next one. I was really tired, really burnt out, and wanted to go to bed right now. But I really can't shake the feeling that I just want to go again. Like, I'm not going to, but I really want to, and that's strange. TOA has not been my go-to gameplay experience, let's just say that. But now, I guess there's light at the end of the tunnel, and sometimes it's purple. It's exciting stuff. It's only just occurred to me after getting that first purple, my Lightbearer, that I still haven't actually used my thread of elidinis on any of my rune pouch. But to segue, we're going to do 98 fletching into the pouch upgrade. Of course you need a needle, but man, I'm still riding that high. Like, because I had zero expectations of getting a purple, I'm kind of just in the process of learning about TOA. To actually get one is so surreal. And look, I don't want to be greedy, but at the same time, I want to chase that dragon, and I'm going to hunt that dragon down, because I need to get myself a Fang before Jagex nerfs this game, and I miss out on the same wave that everyone else has ridden for the last 5 years, or however long TOA has been out for. It might only be 3. I have no idea. But regardless, we now have the Divine Rune Pouch, 98 fletching, and a desire to get back into TOA. It now feels realistic. It doesn't feel like a pipe dream. It does not feel like I'm just here for educational purposes only. There's actually a goal in mind, and I actually feel like I can actually achieve it. So I think what I'm going to do is, in between my TOA runs, I'm going to keep up my herb runs and do a bit of fletching. I really need like 5-10 minutes to chill out after each run. I don't know about you guys, but if I smoked, that would be the time to pull out a cigarette. But yeah, just a couple of chiller things to do in between my raids, and then kind of aggressively push it as much as I possibly can and see if we can pull ourselves another purple light. Getting that first purple definitely lit a fire underneath my ass cheeks, so I've been sending as many TOAs as I possibly can. The purple rate isn't the greatest thing in the world. You'll see it's like low 2%, but I don't care, right? If it's safe, if it's comfy, if I can repeat it, I'm happy, and one day RNG will be in my favor, so kind of just spamming these as much as I possibly can, trying to get some experience and get a little better. There's the 25th raid down the hatch. I feel like I've just zoned out. I can now do these back to back. I've gotten to the point where I can go autopilot mode and finish these, which is nice. I don't think I'm going to push things any further. I'm kind of comfy, I'm kind of chilling, and the purple rate isn't the greatest, 2.25%, but it feels like it's an almost guaranteed endeavor. And I definitely know it's possible to get myself some purples. I probably got spooned, let's be honest, so I'm not exactly worried about getting the next purple anytime soon. But at the same time, like, I'm happy to just keep grinding, and whenever it comes, it comes. But apparently it's going to take more than 25 170s to get myself a Fang, as well as a Lightbearer. Bop, bop, bop. I've now done 28 kill count of this place, and I think I'm going to try and up things a little bit. I think I'm just going to gradually increase the rating of what I've been up to. Honestly, 200 seems imposing, but the invocations I've just put on now, taking it to 215, seems pretty possible. The only thing I've really added is maybe blood thinners and making the Kefri stage a little bit harder. And for me, Kefri seems to be the easiest, so more overloads, likely larvae. I don't know, dude. I'm going to send it, see if this 215 works. I'm just noticing I'm probably going to be wasting time if I don't at least try to make this harder. I think the loot scales in the sort of way that if you do a 300, you're twice as more likely than you are if you're doing the 150. So every run where I don't push myself to make it a little bit harder, I'm probably just shooting myself in the foot in the long run. And considering a purple chance is what, 2%? If I don't at least look for those little opportunities to increase the rate, yeah, could be a little bit detrimental. So gonna give it 215 a go, see if that goes okay. And God willing, we'll push it even higher. Okay, that was marginally harder. I got a little bit tripped out. The scarabs in the cafe room really threw me off. I salted before that room. I don't know when to use salts, like early on in a raid. I kind of reserve it for the... what's the one where you butterfly it, but I don't butterfly it? Whatever that one is. Decided to salt before the cafe room, and that seemed to help out. But 2.7% is what, 0.5% higher, but at the same time, it's not 20% harder, or whatever it is, so I think that's worth it. Got some manta rays for the first time. 12 toad flax seeds. Amazing. After completing the 215s, my confidence was a little higher, so what I ended up doing in response was elevating the invocation level. I thought, why not? There was a few freebies that I thought I might be able to tackle and actually do properly, so 240s is now my point of entry, and I've reliably been able to do them, which has increased my purple rate just a little bit. And like I said before, every little bit counts. Chest time. I go look at my chest. Oh. Okay. Well, definitely was not expecting this. I was kind of thinking, I'm going to end this video whenever I get my next purple, or if I get to 50 raids. Judging by the number you see before you, it looks like the purple is going to be the prior of the two options. So this is how we end the video. We get our first purple as well as our second ever. Like I said, Lightbearer, not interested, but anything else, absolutely. The Fang will be the ultimate upgrade to get. So without further ado, let's see if we can pull one out. I can't believe this, man. This is my first raid of the day. I was getting so tilted yesterday. Felt like I was kind of losing grip on reality, but let's see what we can get. First raid of the day. Can we get a Fang? Masori chaps? I don't know how I feel about that, but I think that's an awesome upgrade. I'm going to click this into my inventory immediately so I don't disconnect and lose it. I don't know if that's a thing, but I don't want to gamble it. Anyway, that is how we end the video. Very interesting upgrade. I've never even researched these. I didn't think it was humanly possible for me to obtain them. But with that said, thank you guys for watching this video. I shall catch you in the next one. It looks like the Fang still eludes me.